Guten Abend, liebe Freunde des Wochenendes. Es steht kurz vor der Tür. Das Wochenende kann kommen. Aber vorher muss ich am Freitag noch anfangen mit Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Wir begeben uns in die 60er Jahre zurück und spielen nicht den Snake, den wir kennen aus den anderen beiden Metal Gears, sondern seinen genetischen Vater. Den Mann, der später zu Big Boss, dem Terroristenanführer, werden sollte. Und wir erfahren was über die Ursprünge der Patriots. Wo kommen die Patriots eigentlich her? Bevor wir damit anfangen, und ich habe da richtig Bock drauf, ich habe mich da die ganze Woche drauf gefreut, muss ich leider einmal wieder über die Embracer Group sprechen. Das schwedische Konglomerat, das ganz viele Studios und Lizenzen aufgekauft hat, dann ein Deal hatte mit irgendwelchen Investoren oder Sponsoren. Die sind dann abgesprungen, der Deal ist nicht zustande gekommen. Dann wurden ganz viele Spiele eingestampft und Studios, naja, noch nicht, das kommt als nächstes, Leute entlassen, große Entlassungswelle. Und heute hat die Embracer Group wieder von sich reden gemacht, denn also jeder, der gedacht hat, es ist jetzt vorbei mit den Entlassungen, nein, das geht noch weiter. Es werden noch mehr Leute entlassen und jetzt werden auch zum ersten Mal wird in Betracht gezogen, ganze Studios zu schließen. Insgesamt 15 Spiele wurden eingestellt, darunter einige, die noch nicht mal angekündigt waren. Davon betroffen sind unter anderem Studios wie Amplifier, Freemode, Gearbox, Playon, Saber Interactive und THQ Nordic. Gut gemacht! Gut gemacht. Ach so, übrigens angesprochen auf das Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic Remake, hat der CEO gesagt, dazu möchte er sich nicht äußern, weil egal was er sagt, es wird ja eine Schlagzeile draus. Gut gemacht. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. Und damit willkommen zurück bei GamesUNDGelaber, der Gaming-Sendung aus dem Interwebs. Ich werde heute nicht noch weiter über Embracer meckern, das bringt ja auch nichts. Aber alter Schwede, vielleicht nicht alles einfach kaufen. Capcom zum Beispiel, kann ich immer wieder nur Capcom nennen. Capcom auf die Frage, ob sie sich hätten, ob sie, wenn sie jetzt ein Angebot bekämen, von wem auch immer, Microsoft oder was, hier aufkaufen. Capcom würde sagen, nö, ach komm, lass mal. Da bin ich nicht so für. Snake Eater. Lass uns in die 60er. Lass uns zurück in die 60er. What a thrill. Oh, Vorspanni kommt noch gar nicht. Dann gehen wir erstmal in die Optionchen rein. Ein normal. Ah, komm. Ja, das hier habe ich noch gar nicht gezockt. Also ich meine, ich habe es natürlich früher gezockt, ne, auf der PS2, das Original und das HD-Remaster von Bluepoint auf der PS3 oder was? PS4? Ich weiß es, wahrscheinlich 3. Na gut, und jetzt hier eben auf A5. Ist eine Menge Zeit vergangen. Jedenfalls, was ich sagen wollte, ich habe keinen Speicherstand. Das ist das Einzige, wo ich noch nicht reingezockt habe. Es hat sich sogar vor dem Streamen hier noch ein Update gezogen, 300 MB oder was. Keine Ahnung, wofür ein über fast 20 Jahre altes Spiel irgendwie noch Updates braucht, aber wir reden über Konami. So, jetzt aber Vorspann.
After the end of World War II, the world was split into two, East and West. This marked the beginning of the era called the Cold War.
Altitude 30,000 feet.
Approaching Soviet airspace.
20 minutes to drop off.
Commencing internal depressurization. Equipment check. Arm main parachute.
All right. You ready to go?
Drop zone still showing a high pressure mass. Cav okay.
Good. We've got high visibility.
Put out that cigar. Connecting oxygen hose to interior connector. Put on your mask. Does this panty waste know what he's doing?
Approaching release point.
10 minutes to drop off.
Hey, are you deaf?
He said put out the cigar and put on your mask.
Depressurization complete.
Checking oxygen supply.
6 minutes to drop off. Opening rear hatch.
Sunrise.
External temperature minus 46 degrees Celsius. 2 minutes to drop off. Stand up.
You'll be falling at 130 miles per hour. Try not to get frostbite from the wind chill.
1 minute to drop off. Move to the rear.
Activate bailout model.
This is one for the history books. The world's first halo jump.
10 seconds to drop off. Stand by. Status okay. All green.
Prepare for drop off. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Spread your wings
And fly. God be with you.
Jack, I've got some important news. The head of the CIA has finally given us the green light for the virtuous mission.
Virtual mission?
No, the virtuous mission. The future of our Fox unit depends on it. If it succeeds, we'll be officially organized into a unit.
Virtuous mission? Sounds like some kind of initiation ritual.
You know, don't get cocky. This isn't a training op.
Right. So what exactly is this wonderful mission?
Well, about 2 years ago, a certain Soviet scientist requested asylum in the West through one of our moles. His name is Nikolai Stepanovich Sokolov. He's head of the OKB 754 Design Bureau, one of the Soviets' top-secret weapon research facilities, and the East's foremost expert on weapons development.
Sokolov? Isn't he that famous rocket scientist?
The very same. On April the 12th, 1961, the Soviets achieved the first manned spaceflight in history.
The Earth was blue, but there was no God.
Well spoken. The rocket that carried Yuri Gagarin into orbit was the A-1, known as the Vostok rocket. Sokolov is said to be the man most responsible for the multi-engine cluster used in that rocket. After Gagarin's flight, Sokolov left rocket development to become the head of the newly established Design Bureau.
From a lowly technician to head of a design bureau, that's quite a success story, so why do you want to defect?
It seems he'd become afraid of his own creations.
Afraid?
Call it a crisis of conscience.
And for that, he left his country and his family behind and went over the fence?
Not exactly. One of his conditions was that his family was also to be taken safely to the west. We used a mole to get the family out first and succeeded in sneaking Sokolov over the Berlin Wall shortly afterwards. I was the one who conducted the operation.
The security on the eastern side was still full of holes back then. Then what?
We got Sokolov over in one piece, but the whole ordeal had left him exhausted, and we checked him into a hospital in West Berlin. It took him 2 weeks and more than 600 miles to get from the research facility in the Soviet Union to Berlin. He was in no condition to say anything coherent. And it was only a week later that we had something much bigger on our hands.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
October the 16th, 1962, President Kennedy received word that the Soviets were in the process of deploying intermediate-range ballistic missiles in Cuba. The President demanded that the Soviets dismantle and remove the missiles. At the same time, he announced a naval blockade to prevent further missile shipments from reaching Cuba. But the Soviets didn't back down, instead placing their armed forces on secondary alert. Soviet transport ships carrying missiles continued on course towards Cuba. US and Soviet forces went on alert for an all-out nuclear war. Frantic negotiations were conducted through the UN's Emergency Security Council and unofficial channels to end the hair-trigger standoff. Finally, on October the 28th, the Soviet Union agreed to remove its missiles from Cuba, and so the world avoided a nuclear holocaust. But in order to get the Soviets to pull their missiles out, we had to make a deal.
You mean the one where the US agreed to remove its IRBMs from Turkey?
No. The Jupiter IRBMs deployed in Turkey were obsolete, and we were going to get rid of them anyway. They had no strategic value whatsoever to either the US or the Russians. The Turkey deal was a ruse, a cover story that was fed to the other intelligence agencies around the world.
So what did the Russians really want?
Sokolov. They wanted us to return Sokolov.
You mean the Soviets pulled out of Cuba just to get their hands on Sokolov?
That's right.
What the hell was he working on?
At the time, we had no idea. We were running out of time. It was either give up Sokolov or risk full-scale nuclear war. In the end, we had no choice. President Kennedy gave in to Khrushchev's demand. The next day, I got Sokolov out of the hospital, handing him over to agents on the eastern side. Sokolov kept on screaming, "Save me," until he disappeared from my sight. Then a month ago, we received some new information from one of our moles.
About Sokolov?
Yes. He was taken back to the research facility and forced to continue working on the weapon in question under KGB supervision. What's more, it's on the verge of completion.
So what kind of weapon is it? Something to do with space rockets?
No, missiles.
Same technology.
I guess you're right. We don't know the details, but it appears to be a new kind of nuclear device. For half a year now, the Soviets have been conducting frequent nuclear tests at Semipalatinsk.
Something to do with the weapon, I assume.
We're talking about a secret weapon so big that Khrushchev was ready to pull out of Cuba to get it back.
Is Sokolov still in the facility?
No. According to our intelligence, he's in Selinoyarsk, a place in the mountains about 3 miles to the west that's known as the Virgin Cliffs.
The Virgin Cliffs. Nice name for a virtuous mission.
They moved him there just recently.
Why?
Apparently, they're conducting a field test of the weapon, but it's our best chance to get him back. This mission would never have been possible if he was still in the research facility. This is our last chance. Sokolov must have known that too when he contacted us. Listen up, Jack. Your mission is to infiltrate Selino Yask in the Soviet mountains, ensure the safety of Sokolov, and bring him back to the west. If we don't get Sokolov back before that weapon is complete, we'll be facing a major crisis. The clock is ticking. Once we've confirmed the rescue of Sokolov, stand by at the recovery point. A recovery balloon will be dropped at that point. Helium will be pumped into the balloon to inflate it. The process takes about 20 minutes. Once it's complete, the gunship's arm will latch onto the balloon and pull it up.
The Fulton surface-to-air recovery system. I'm familiar with the theory.
Take it easy. It's been combat-proven.
Do you think Sokolov is up to it?
The shock will be less than during a parachute jump, and the arm can handle up to 500 pounds.
So you're planning on going over the border in a single combat talent?
She's equipped with two 6-barrel 20mm Vulcan cannons, as well as two 40mm machine guns.
Sounds like she could hold her own against a battalion of tanks.
Even with the fuel in the reserve tank, we're facing a 4-hour time limit. If all goes well, it shouldn't take more than a few hours.
Home in time for dinner.
But if anything goes wrong, you'll be eating dinner, breakfast, and all the rest of your meals in the jungle.
Lalelulelo. So, wie nehmen wir denn jetzt die Maske ab? Oh, hätte ich mal bloß Metal Gear Solid 3 angeklickt. Jetzt müssen wir mit Jack arbeiten hier. Aber ist nicht schlimm. Die Maske nimmt er gleich ab. Ich glaube, ich muss die Kamera invertieren. Ich war mir nicht sicher, ob es nötig wird, aber ich glaube, es ist nötig. Nur invertiert ist richtig rum. Ja, viel besser. So, ich habe hier irgendwo Pilz gesehen. Pilz nehmen wir natürlich mit. Ist hier der Pilz? Das ist der Pilz. Alles mitnehmen, was man essen kann. Da ist auch noch ein Pilz. Ganz im Sinne von Seven vs. Wild geht es hier um Survival.
Do you copy? You're already in enemy territory, and somebody might be listening in. From here on out, we'll be using code names to refer to each other. Your code name for this mission will be Naked Snake. I'll be referring to you as Snake from now on. You're not to mention your real name.
Snake?
What, you don't like snakes?
What do you mean?
You've eaten one before, haven't you?
In survival training.
I'm glad to hear that.
I don't know if I'd ever order one in a restaurant, but...
Be careful, you might not have a choice.
What about you, Major? What should I call you?
Let's see. I'll be Tom. Call me Major Tom. Oh, and Snake,
Yeah,
the crew isn't watching anymore. You can take off the disguise now.
good idea. This isn't right. Time for the snake to shed his skin. Can you hear me, Major Tom? This is Snake. Kept you waiting, huh?
This will be a sneaking mission. You must not be seen by the enemy. You must leave no trace of your presence. Is that clear? This kind of infiltration is the Fox unit's speciality. In other words, weapons and equipment are procured on site. That goes for food as well. You're completely naked, just as your name implies.
Great. Now I see why you asked me if I like snakes. I suppose calling me Snake was your idea of a joke, too.
No, there's a good reason for that. I'll tell you later when the time is right.
Gotcha. Getting back to the subject, how exactly am I supposed to feed myself?
You've been issued a knife and a tranquilizer gun. Use them to hunt for food. You'll also find some medical supplies in your backpack.
Yeah, about the backpack. I lost it in a tree on the way down.
I see. Well, you'd better go back and get it then. You know where it is?
No problem. I can see it from here. It's stuck on a branch.
To climb a tree, stand in front of a tree that's covered in ivy and press the action button. I'll be monitoring your progress over the radio. We can't risk violating Soviet airspace, but I'll be in the gunship. My frequency is 140.85. I'll give you a call if I need to talk to you. If you need to talk to me, use the send function. Okay, Snake, go get your backpack.
Okay, wie immer. Erstmal 20 Minuten Einführung, bevor wir was machen dürfen. Das ist wirklich, das zieht sich durch. Das zieht sich durch. Es sind immer 20 Minuten. Mehr oder weniger. Er hat ja nicht gesagt, ich habe eine Haschpapi. Ich habe keine Haschpapi. Wo ist meine Haschpapi? Wahrscheinlich im Rucksack, ne? Ja. Wolfgang, pass auf! Der hat den Reifen verloren!
I see you've retrieved your backpack, Snake. To equip a weapon, it's necessary to take it out of your backpack. In the survival viewer, choose Weapon from the backpack. Your available weapons will be displayed in a window in the upper left. From that list, choose the weapon you want to equip and press the Enter button. For other equipped items, just do the same thing from Item.
Got it. Use the survival viewer backpack.
Yep, that's right. Survival is fundamental to this mission. After you've been out in the field for a while, your stamina will start to drop. If your stamina gets too low, it'll affect your performance. You won't be able to shoot accurately, for example, and your wounds won't heal as smoothly. Keep an eye on your stamina so you don't run out. To recover lost stamina, you can hunt for local flora and fauna. You can use either your tranquilizer gun or your knife to hunt.
My only weapon is a Mark 22 Hush Puppy tranquilizer gun?
That's right. It's been fitted with its own suppressor. However, the suppressor will deteriorate every time you fire. Once its durability reaches 0, the noise suppression effect will be gone. So don't get too trigger happy with it. The suppressor's durability is shown in the icon. Any weapons and equipment beyond what you're carrying now, you'll have to find as you go.
I have to find my own weapons and equipment? Whose crazy idea was this anyway?
Solo covert actions are standard Fox operating procedure. You can't leave any traces of your presence. No weapons, equipment, footprints, sweat, or bodily waste. The same goes for bullets and cartridges, too. Your presence in enemy territory is already a violation of international conventions of warfare. There aren't supposed to be any American soldiers in Russia. It could spark an international incident. You can't let anyone see you. You can't let the enemy know you're there. This is a stealth mission. You're a ghost, Snake, in every sense of the word. And there'll be no rescue if you're captured. The military and US government will deny any involvement in the affair.
Then I'll just have to take care of myself, huh?
I'm afraid so. You've been given a fake death pill for that purpose. SIS guidelines stipulate that soldiers on covert ops like this one be issued a potassium cyanide capsule. Tape it to your body so you can take it when you need to.
How generous of you.
Use it if you're taken prisoner by the enemy. It'll send you into a state of false death for a short time.
Fooling them into thinking that I'm really dead. So how do I come back to life?
Just take the revival pill.
You mean that thing they put in my tooth before the mission?
That's the one. But be careful. If you remain in a state of false death for too long, nothing will be able to bring you back. Remember that.
I'll keep it in mind. You said this was a solo mission, right?
Right.
I guess that means I can't count on any reinforcements.
Correct. The mission rests entirely in your hands.
A real one-man army.
Relax. There's a support team ready to back you up over the radio.
Who?
I'll introduce them to you. This time, survival is of utmost importance. The first member of the support team will be in charge of monitoring your physical condition, acting as a medic, so to speak, as well as recording your mission data. She's a member of Fox as well, and she's here on the gunship with me.
She?
Hello, Snake. I'm paramedic. Nice to meet you.
Paramedic.
As in a medic who comes in by parachute.
Aren't you going to tell me your real name?
Are you going to tell me yours, Mr. Snake?
My name, huh? It's John Doe.
And they call you Jack for short. You're a regular Captain Nemo.
A name means nothing on the battlefield. After a week, no one has a name. What's your name?
Jane Doe.
Very funny.
I wasn't joking, but I'll tell you my name only if you manage to make it back alive. My frequency is 145.73.
She's also in charge of recording your mission data. Whenever you want to save, send a message over the reserved save frequency, 140.96.
So saving lets me record my mission data.
That's right. It also records the state of your health.
Good to know.
There's one more person I want to introduce you to, Snake.
Huh?
Speaking of snakes, you remember the boss, don't you? A legendary soldier and your mentor. Actually, it was the boss that got the DCI's authorization in the first place. She's going to be serving as Fox's mission advisor.
The boss is?
She also helped me plan this mission. She and I were at SAS together.
Jack, is that you? How many years has it been?
Boss?
That's right. It's me.
Oh.
Talk to me. Let me hear your voice.
It's been 5 years, 72 days, and 18 hours.
You've lost weight.
You can tell just by the sound of my voice.
Of course I can. I know all about you.
Really? Well, I don't know anything about you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Why'd you disappear on me all of a sudden?
I was on a top-secret mission. You didn't need me anymore.
But there were still so many things I wanted you to teach me.
No, I taught you everything you needed to know about fighting techniques. I taught you all I could. The rest you needed to learn on your own.
Techniques, sure. But what about how to think like a soldier?
How to think like a soldier? I can't teach you that. A soldier needs to be strong in spirit, body, and technique. And the only thing you can learn from someone else is technique. In fact, technique doesn't even matter. What's most important is spirit. Spirit and body are like two sides of a single coin. They're the same thing. I can't teach you how to think. You'll just have to figure it out for yourself. Listen to me, Jack. Just because soldiers are on the same side right now doesn't mean they always will be. Having personal feelings about your comrades is one of the worst sins you can commit. Politics determine who you face on the battlefield. And politics are a living thing. They change along with the times. Yesterday's good might be tomorrow's evil.
Is that why you abandoned me?
No, it had nothing to do with you. I already told you, Jack. I was on a top-secret mission. A soldier has to follow whatever orders he's given. It's not his place to question why. But you're looking for a reason to fight. You're a natural-born fighter, but you're not quite a soldier. A soldier is a political tool, nothing more. That's doubly true if he's a career soldier. Right and wrong have no place in his mission. He has no enemies and no friends. Only the mission. You follow the orders you're given. That's what being a soldier is.
I do whatever I have to get the job done. I don't think about politics.
That's not the same thing. Sooner or later, your conscience is going to bother you. In the end, you have to choose whether you're going to live as a soldier or just another man with a gun. There's a saying in the Orient, loyalty to the end. Do you know what it means?
Being patriotic.
It means devoting yourself to your country.
I follow the president and the top brass. I'm ready to die for them if necessary.
The president and the top brass won't be there forever. Once their terms are up, others will take their place.
I follow the will of the leader, no matter who's in charge.
People aren't the ones who dictate the missions.
Then who does?
The times. People's values change over time, and so do the leaders of a country. So there's no such thing as an enemy in absolute terms. The enemies we fight are only enemies in relative terms, constantly changing with the times. As long as we have loyalty to the end, there's no point in believing in anything, even in those we love.
And that's the way a soldier's supposed to think?
The only thing we can believe in with absolute certainty is the mission, Jack.
All right, but do me a favor.
What is it?
Call me Snake.
Snake. Oh, right. Your codename is Snake. It suits you well.
That's right. The legendary unit that the boss put together during World War II was a snake. The Cobra unit, a group of heroes that brought the war to an end and saved the world. As long as you've got a legendary hero backing you up, you'll be fine. Isn't that right, Snake?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have with me. Oh, and one more thing, boss.
Yes?
It's good to hear your voice again.
Same here. After all, who knows if either of us will make it out alive? Snake, you are always best at urban warfare and infiltrating buildings. But this is the jungle. Survival is going to be key. Those CQC techniques I taught you are sure to come in handy.
CQC? Close quarters combat, huh? I've been in the Green Berets for the past few years. I'm probably pretty rusty.
Not to worry. I'll be here to help you remember. After all, this is your first actual survival mission. I'll be supporting you over the radio.
Where are you, boss? Next to the major?
The boss is communicating with us by radio from aboard a Permit-class submarine in the Arctic Ocean.
My frequency is 141.80. Call me if you need my advice on battle techniques.
Gotcha.
Your mission is to retrieve Dr. Sokolov. Dr. Sokolov is being held in an abandoned factory located to the north of your current position. Avoid heavy combat and don't let anyone see you. Don't forget that this is a stealth mission.
Snake, try to remember some of the basics of CQC.
Commencing virtuous mission now.
So, jetzt darf ich auch wieder was sagen. Alter Schwede, hier wird aber viel geredet. In der Zwischenzeit ist Jarl Sandersen hier reingeradet. Vielen Dank dafür. Ich habe letzte Woche, ich habe immer so ein schlechtes Gewissen. Ich hab die letzten paar Wochen reingeguckt bei euch. Ich wollte auch vorbeikommen, aber ihr habt immer Walheim gespielt. Und ihr habt so konzentriert gewirkt, da hätte ich, glaube ich, nur gestört. Also ihr habt, glaube ich, irgendwas gebaut. Hahn-Ninja? Ach so, dann, ja, danke Hahn-Ninja. Dann habe ich das falsch gelesen hier. Danke Hahn-Ninja für den Raid. Aber Mr. Nee, ihr wart da wirklich konzentriert beim Bauen. Ihr habt irgendwas gebastelt. Und dann wurde es Nacht und Zeit zum... Da hätte ich nur gestört. Da hätte ich nur gestört. Ihr seid nie konzentriert, okay. Die Schlange versuche ich mal noch zu angeln hier. Ja, und dann wird Sokolov gerettet. Also ist nicht so, dass ich nicht vorbeigucke, aber immer wenn ich reingucke, bietet sich's irgendwie gerade nicht an, reinzuquasseln oder so. Also da wollte ich dann halt nicht stören. Ist nicht so, dass ich gar nicht vorbeigucke. Also ich muss, glaube ich, die Kamera nochmal invertieren. Chaos, okay. Ja, dann, nächste Mal, dann quassel ich einfach rein. Ich versuche das nochmal mit der normal, das ist aber gewöhnungsbedürftig hier. Na komm, ich muss mich auf eine Dingens muss ich mich hier festlegen. So, dann lass mal Sokolov retten. Habe ich schon Tarnungs... Ja, ich habe schon ein paar Möglichkeiten, aber nicht allzu viele. Dann nehmen wir doch Wald, oder? Wald und Tigerstreifen. Das scheint mir die richtige Mischung zu sein hier. Oh, Ninja. Nee. In der Hocke laufen kann er nicht. Das kommt dann später erst. Ja, ich weiß. Ich weiß. Deshalb habe ich ja Wald- und Tigerstreifen ausgesucht. Das weiß ich. Ich weiß um die hier Stealth-Anzeige. Ah, jetzt habe ich die Rebhühner verscheucht. Waren das überhaupt Rebhühner? Ja, das ist halt ärgerlich. Das geht nicht. Oder kann ich nochmal ausprobieren? Wenn ich die Waffe... Ah, okay, so geht das. Dann kann ich den Schuss abbrechen. Okay. Früher haben sie das über druckempfindliche Knöpfe gemacht. Und die gibt es heute nicht mehr. Mal gucken, liegt da hinten noch was? Ich weiß es nicht. Habe ich kein Fernglas? Nee, habe ich noch nicht. Doch, habe ich. Aber da ist nichts, ne? Da ist nichts. Was habe ich sonst noch? Zigarette? Nee, Zigarre. Okay, alles klar. Ja, dann lass mal Sokolov befreien. Ey, was soll bei der Mission schon schief gehen? Das machen wir hier nach Lehrbuch. Da ist noch eine Schlange. Ich werde wahrscheinlich zu viel Schlangen einsammeln. Die werden wahrscheinlich alle schlecht. Aber lieber zu viel als zu wenig.
Major, I've spotted 2 enemy soldiers.
They're probably KGB troops sent to guard Sokolov.
AK-47s and grenades.
Snake, your presence in Soviet territory is already a violation of international law. We can't let the Kremlin find out that the CIA and the American government are involved. Contact with the enemy is strictly prohibited. Don't engage them in battle either. This is a stealth mission. Got that?
The Major is right. The point of this mission is to sneak through the jungle without being seen. The success of the mission depends on how well you use your camouflage. Change your camouflage by selecting camouflage.
Ah, das weiß ich doch alles
The
schon.
uniform option lets you pick your uniform, while the face option lets you change your face paint. Choosing camouflage that blends in with your surroundings will help you conceal yourself more effectively. Also, don't forget that anything that moves will stand out in the jungle. If you just stand up and run around like an idiot, you're bound to be spotted. But if you crawl instead, you should be able to sneak by without being noticed. You can see how effective your camouflage is by looking at the camo index. The camo index shows how well your current camouflage blends in with the surrounding area. The higher the value, the harder you are to spot, and vice versa. The key is to make yourself one with nature. Keep that in mind as you go along, okay?
Ja, der Skip-Tutorial-Knopf, der war damals noch nicht erfunden. Hinlegen, Schnake. Und hier natürlich ganz wichtig, das ist jetzt das erste Mal, ich habe ja in den letzten Wochen mehrere Metal Gears gespielt. Hier ist es jetzt tatsächlich zum ersten Mal empfehlenswert, dass ich nicht so viele Feinde töte, weil mir das sonst später im Spiel Schwierigkeiten bereiten wird. Nämlich dann, wenn ich The Sorrow begegne. Wenn ich hier zu viele Leute töte, kann das sein, dass ich 20 Minuten lang durch einen endlosen Kanal latschen muss. Und das wollen wir natürlich vermeiden. Ne? Da haben wir keinen Bock drauf. Dass der nicht gehockt in der Hocke gehen kann. Das kann ich doch sogar. Haben wir eine Karte eigentlich? Haben wir, okay. Hm. Der Plan ist jetzt, den schlafen zu legen. Oh, komm. Nein, du kannst mich nicht sehen. Ich wollte den eigentlich... Oh. Oh, ist das schlecht. Das machen wir doch mal. Ich lass mich töten. Das machen wir direkt nochmal. Das ist ja richtig lächerlich. Wie so ein blutiger Anfänger.
Snake, do you read? Snake!
Major.
Snake, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You're far from okay. Look at your life gauge. You're on your last leg.
No, I can still...
See?
Snake, this is a solo sneaking mission. Do you know what that means?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Huh?
It means there's no backup, no cavalry. If you're taken out, nobody is there to take your place. Pull out for now and recuperate.
Find a hiding place and get some rest. Your life gauge will gradually recover with time. But the speed of your life gauge recovery depends on the level of your stamina gauge. So get plenty to eat, then get some rest. You hear me? Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Aber das machen wir nicht. Wir machen die ganze Situation nochmal neu. Kann doch nicht sein. Das habe ich doch alles schon gemacht. Fission mailed. Fission mailed.
Snake? Oh my god. Snake! Snake!
Das kann ich besser. Das kann ich besser. Und das werde ich jetzt im zweiten an. Ich wollte einmal demonstrieren, wie man es nicht macht. Und jetzt zeige ich, wie es wirklich geht. Kann nicht sein. Dann hätte ja das Projekt Les Enfants Terribles niemals stattgefunden. Das heißt aber, die Tarnung ist scheiße. Kann ich mich besser tarnen? So, auf ein neues. Ja, okay. Da gibt es für dummes Verhalten auch noch eine Trophäe. Zu meiner Verteidigung, ich habe aber jetzt wirklich auch schon eine Weile kein Metal Gear mehr gezockt. Also ich kämpfe noch ein bisschen mit der Steuerung. So, jetzt kann der mich aber nicht entdecken hier, oder? Das bin ich doch so gut getarnt. Wo muss ich eigentlich hin? Zu Sokolov. Okay. Ich werde nie wieder sagen, dass in Alan Wake 2 die Karte nutzlos ist. Diese ist auch nicht hilfreich. Ich hole mir kurz so ein Glimmstängelchen. Wie spät ist das? 21:32 Uhr. Meine Nachbarinos oben haben jetzt beschlossen, dass es eine geile Zeit ist, rumzurempeln. Finde ich jetzt nicht so geil, muss ich mal sagen. Finde ich ein bisschen rücksichtslos. Ich höre das sogar durch die Kopfhörer. Und das bedeutet, das ist sehr laut dann. Alter, was machen die da oben, um Himmels Willen? Finde ich sehr rücksichtslos. Auch für einen Freitagabend. Der Freitagabend ist keine Entschuldigung. Boah, diese Steuerung, ne?
Saving the game, Snake?
Ja.
Hey, Snake, you ever heard of Godzilla, King of Monsters?
No, what is it?
It's a movie. You haven't seen it?
Nope.
It's about this monster called Godzilla, who grows to an enormous size in a nuclear test and goes on a rampage in Tokyo.
Nuclear test, huh? Then the Marshall Islands must be crawling with giant monsters right about now.
It's just make-believe.
Maybe that's why my pants have been so tight lately.
Snake, it's a movie, not a report out of Los Alamos.
I know. So then what happened?
Godzilla is immune to all weapons, and humanity has no way to stop the monster. Dr. Shirazawa develops a new type of weapon, but meanwhile, Godzilla is getting closer and closer to Tokyo, obliterating everything in its path. It was originally a Japanese movie, but they made an American version, too. I recommend seeing the original Japanese one if you ever get the chance. It's mostly mindless fun, but it's also got a serious anti-nuke message as well.
Where can I see the original?
You'll just have to go to Japan.
Really? That's too bad.
Well, if you wait 40 years, you might be able to see it in America, too.
Why's that?
2004 will be Godzilla's 50th birthday.
You think they're still going to be making Godzilla movies then?
Of course! Everybody loves Godzilla.
You sure know a lot about movies.
I don't suppose you're the movie-watching type, are you?
Not really.
Okay, then I'll tell you everything I know. When the going gets tough, movies can save your life. It's always good to be able to look at things from a different perspective when you get in a jam. That's the magic of movies.
No kidding. Well, I guess it might at least make a nice distraction.
That's the spirit, Snake. Have a little fun.
Das gibt mir die Gelegenheit, nochmal Godzilla -1 anzusprechen. Auf den habe ich richtig Bock. Also mehr als auf den amerikanischen Godzilla. Ich fand schon Shin Godzilla sehr geil. Der ist schon ein paar Jahre älter. Aber jetzt -1, das ist der neue von Toho. Trailer sieht gut aus. Ich habe da ein bisschen Bock drauf. Tatsächlich. Warum nicht? Muss ich da jetzt gleich hochgehen und mal Bescheid sagen, wie spät das ist? Das ist sehr unfreundlich, da so rumzurumpeln. Aber vielleicht sollte denen das mal jemand sagen. Also vielleicht wissen die das gar nicht, dass die hier nicht alleine sind. Aber erstmal muss Sokolov gerettet werden. Mhm. Sind das Früchte oder sind das Bienen? Nee, das sind Früchte, ne? Früchte bringen mir nichts. Ich warte mal, bis der zurückkommt. Oder ich gucke mir die Sache mal von oben an. Das könnte ich auch machen. Na, Snake, nach oben. Da ist nichts Tolles, okay. Alter, warum kann ich denn da nicht durch? Na, okay, weil es ein bisschen zu eng ist, ne? Okay, das muss man dann... Das muss man dann akzeptieren. Mm. Alter, also wirklich die Steuerung, die ist ja wirklich... Um Himmels Willen! So, Infrarot. Okay. Alter, ich krieg Kopfschmerzen von der Steuerung. Da merkt man erst, wie viel Zeit vergangen ist. Und ich hab's auch schon ein paar Mal gesagt. Moderne Spiele haben mich weich gemacht. Die haben mich weich gemacht. Da ist man verwöhnt. Man hat sich an die falschen Sachen gewöhnt. So, wo muss ich denn hin? Darauf, wa? Oder dadurch? Ich habe doch keine Ahnung.
Disgusting.
Okay, die Pilze schmecken nicht so geil. So. Wo sind denn die jetzt hingerannt? Die kommen doch bestimmt noch mal wieder, oder? Mal den Colonel fragen, was der sagt. Nee, Major ist ja gar kein Colonel.
Sokolov should be at the abandoned factory to the north, so head in that direction.
Do you want to save? Snake, do you know the creature from the Black Lagoon?
Nope, never heard of it.
These scientists are investigating a place deep in the Amazon called the Black Lagoon, and they get picked off one after the other by this fishman thing. And there was this scene when the heroine is going for a swim, and the creature sneaks up on her from underwater. Oh, I thought my heart was going to stop. I mean, of course, the 3D effects in It Came from Outer Space were a lot more intense, but...
It wouldn't be referring to you coming from outer space, would it?
How rude! Why do you say that?
Because no one on Earth could be as charming as you.
Fine. I'll just get to the point, Snake. Be careful of what's around you when you're in the water. Just imagining you swimming in those jungle rivers makes me think of you being attacked by a fishman.
I appreciate the concern.
Fishmen aren't the only things that'll attack you in the water. Really be careful out there.
Okay.
And don't be attacking any pretty girls going for a swim, either.
Are you calling me a fishman?
You started it.
Da bewegt sich nichts. Die sind weggelaufen vor den Bienen. Not the bees! Not the bees! Oh nee, da kommen sie wieder angeschissen. Jetzt wollen sie zu dritt das Bienennest ausräuchern. Ja, viel Glück. Ah, da ist auch noch einer. Was ist denn eine XM-Dings? Ach so, das ist so eine Art Sturmgewehr oder was?
Major, I've reached the abandoned factory where Sokolov is supposedly being held. This place is a dump. I can't see Sokolov from here. The security is pretty tight. There are sentries posted around the perimeter. I wonder how many are inside.
Your objective, Sokolov, is inside the factory. They should be holding him in a room in the northeast section.
Northeast section. Got it.
Be careful. Your mission is to bring Sokolov back alive. He must not be exposed to any kind of danger. Do not approach Sokolov while in the alert phase.
Right.
Oh, and one more thing, Snake.
You mean there's more?
No, it's just that when you get to Sokolov, I want you to tell him something from me.
And that is?
Sorry for being so late.
Is that all?
Yes.
Understood. Beginning my approach to the target.
Besser als nix, wa? Warte mal, kann ich zur Not... Pentazemin, was macht das? Wofür ist es gut? Antidepressivum, okay. Sollte man die denn einfach so nehmen? Ich weiß nicht.
What's wrong? Huh? Footsteps. There's nobody here.
Und Schrotflinte. Ab jetzt sehe ich wieder Licht am Ende des Tunnels. Aber es ist ja mein erklärtes Ziel, so wenig Soldaten wie möglich umzubringen, weil sonst The Sorrow zu lange dauert. Oh, und ich glaube, ich muss außenrum. Aber ist nicht schlimm, das gehört dazu. Ey, wenn man das über 10 Jahre nicht gespielt hat, dann ist das normal, dass man da nicht mehr so firm drin ist. Ich muss mich doch auch erstmal wieder langsam rantasten. Und die Steuerung fühlt sich wirklich komisch an. Das wär's halt, ne? Diese Mischung, also hier Metal Gear Solid 5, was Metal Gear Solid 5 an Story hat vermissen lassen, war halt am Gameplay sehr, sehr gut. Die alten Dinger mit dem Gameplay von Metal Gear Solid 5. Aber ich traue das Konami ehrlich gesagt nicht zu. Die werden einen Weg finden, das zu verkacken. Darin sind sie Meister. Kann man gerade bei Silent Hill beobachten. Da beweisen sie auch nicht das richtige Fingerspitzengefühl und ich habe schlimmste Befürchtungen, was das Silent Hill 2 Remake von Bloober Team angeht. Da will ich lieber gar nicht drüber nachdenken. Weisigkeit, durchgeschlicht.
I'm just seeing things.
That's tasty.
Ich glaube, ich muss noch einmal kurz in die... kann ich mir das Controller-Layout angucken? Weil was mir noch nicht gelungen ist, ist hier jemanden auszunocken. Oder geht es gar nicht mehr? Controller-Layout kann ich mir nicht angucken. Okay. Hilfreich, hilfreich, wenn man das Controller-Layout nicht sehen kann. Hm.
Who's that? What happened? HQ, respond. This is HQ. Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements.
Zur Strafe gibt es nur ekelhaft schmeckende Pilze. Scheiße, ich komme hier gar nicht rein. Ich komme gar nicht richtig rein. 1,5 Stunden gleich. Und ich habe mich immer noch nicht eingefuchst in die Steuerung. Es spielt sich aber auch ganz anders als Metal Gear 2 tatsächlich. Wie machen wir das denn jetzt? Ich dachte, hier wäre ein Versteck, aber hier ist kein Versteck.
HQ, HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We've lost sight of the intruder, going into high alert.
Acknowledged. The enemy is still nearby. Pursue and engage him.
Hallöchen, Dr. Kiosk. Ich stelle mich an wie ein Blödian hier. Ich komm nicht durch. Ich bin zu alt für die Scheiße.
Snake, do you...
Die Steuerung ist aber auch echt eigenwillig.
It's a swinging door.
Opening a swinging door is a bit different from opening the doors that you got used to during training. To open doors, generally you can just use the left stick to move towards the door. This way you use your body to push the door open. To open a door without creating any noise, move the left stick slightly. So, when you're concerned about alerting enemies on the inside of a room of your presence, open the door slowly and slip right in. If you use large motions of the left stick and run towards a door, you'll burst through it. The sound of the door opening will surely be heard by your enemies, but it allows for a fast entrance. When you want to jump right in and take care of business, running is the way to do it. Stand in front of a door in first-person view and use the left and right step buttons against the door. This will gradually open the door and allow you to glimpse inside. Use this technique when you want to check what's happening on the other side.
Man muss ja auch dazu sagen, die sind zum Teil natürlich um den Controller von damals herumgebaut, die Spiele. Und viele von den Funktionen, die du damals auf dem Controller hattest, hast du heute nicht mehr. Also wie zum Beispiel die druckempfindlichen Knöpfe. Jetzt hast du irgendwelche Trigger in den Schultertasten, aber die hier Dreieck, Kreis und Quadrat-Tasten sind nicht mehr druckempfindlich. Das verändert natürlich ein Stück weit auch. Das klingt jetzt wie eine blöde Entschuldigung, ist es auch, aber Alter, die sind halt natürlich um den Controller herum gebaut, ein Stück weit. Und du hast manche Funktionalitäten hast du nicht mehr. Und das macht das Spiel halt ein bisschen schwieriger. Na, und die Tatsache, dass sich diese Steuerung nicht durchgesetzt hat, ne? Ich warte mal ab. Vielleicht beruhigt sich das. Das dauert ja auch bloß eine Minute. Wollen wir das Beste hoffen. Sokolov muss gerettet werden. Hier muss ich mich echt reinfuchsen. Hier muss ich mich reinfuchsen. Und wie läuft's bei, falls du noch da bist, wie läuft's bei Sekiro? Bist du weitergekommen bei Sekiro, Dr. Kiosk? Hast du durchgespielt? Sekiro durchgespielt? Uiuiui, alter Schwede, Respekt. Das ist das eine FromSoft-Ding, was ich nicht durchgespielt habe. Ich habe zu viel Respekt vor Sekiro. Jetzt muss ich 70 Sekunden warten? Ja, müssen wir halt 70 Sekunden warten. Das ging aber dann fix, oder? Also wie lange hast du dran gesessen? Also ich habe es jetzt nicht so... Ich habe nur zweimal gesehen, dass du gespielt hast. Du hast es jetzt relativ flott durchgezockt eigentlich, oder? Also gefühlt ging das jetzt sehr schnell. Also innerhalb von 2-3 Wochen oder so? Das ist ja schon flott für ein Souls-like, ne? Mal sagen. So, 40 Sekunden. Ich hoffe, die hören mich nicht. 425 Mal gestorben.
This is HQ.
Aber durchgezockt, So, ich wage mich mal raus hier.
Return to your position.
Und jetzt retten wir Sokolov. Verdammt ich nochmal.
You must be Sokolov.
Are you one of Volgin's men? You'll never get it from me.
No. I'm a CIA agent. I've come to escort you back to the other side of the Iron Curtain.
You're CIA?
Yeah. I was sent by Major Zero, the man who got you out 2 years ago.
Zero?
I have a message from him.
What is it?
He said to tell you sorry for being so late.
Did he now?
What does it mean?
It means he's a man of his word. But we've got no time for this. You have to get me out of here before they arrive.
Who's they?
Colonel Volgin of GRU. You in the West know him as Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? Never heard of him.
He's a member of the Army's extremist faction, a man who seeks to seize control of the motherland. Ever since the Cuban Missile Crisis 2 years ago, Khrushchev has been pursuing a policy of peaceful coexistence with the West. Despite resistance and criticism from hawks in the Army and the provincial authorities, Khrushchev has managed to suppress the opposition so far. But the failure of his agricultural policies has put him in a precarious position. And on top of that, the tragedy last November.
President Kennedy's assassination.
Precisely. In a sense, Khrushchev has lost his biggest partner, and his power base is rapidly crumbling away. A certain group is plotting to use this opportunity to seize power by rallying the anti-government forces, overthrowing Khrushchev, and installing Brezhnev and Kosygin in his place. The mastermind behind this plot is Colonel Volgin of the GRU. He has control over another secret weapons research facility much like this one, OKB-812, known as the Granin Design Bureau, and is using it to further his plans. But that is not enough to satisfy him. Now he's plotting to seize the secret weapon I have been developing here and use it as leverage in his bid for power. The intelligence says that they are going to make their move during the test.
Then, the soldiers outside.
Exactly. They wouldn't need that many men just to keep me inside. Their orders were to prevent Colonel Volgin from capturing me. Even if it meant killing me in the process, or so it would seem. Volgin will come. I'm sure of it. You must get me out of here before then.
Leave it to me.
By the way, your Russian is superb. Where did you learn to speak it?
From my mentor.
Is that so? America is truly a frightening country.
Having second thoughts?
No. I have no love for this place. Let's go.
Major, this is Snake. Sokolov is safe with me. He's doing fine. No injuries.
Good work, Snake. Now hurry up and get Sokolov to the recovery point. We'll rendezvous with you there.
Roger.
What about the sentries?
I managed to get past them.
I see.
What about the boss?
We lost contact with the boss some time ago.
What happened?
It's probably just a weak signal. Just hurry and get Sokolov out of there.
Freeze!
So this is the legendary boss.
Huh?
Huh? We meet at last.
You're from the Ocelot unit of Spetsnaz.
Huh.
What's a GRU soldier doing here?
Soldier?
He's the Ocelot commander.
Ha! That's Major Ocelot to you. And don't you forget it.
Sokolov is ours. Now get out of here.
And Ocelot never lets his prey escape.
What?
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
Sokolov, take cover.
Huh. You're not the boss, are you?
GRU operatives!
What is that stance? Huh. That gun.
If you're not the boss, then die.
Major! Leave it! Shoot the other one! Whoa!
You ejected the first bullet by hand, didn't you? I see what you were trying to do, but testing a technique you've only heard about in the middle of battle wasn't very smart. You were asking to have your gun jam on you. Besides, I don't think you're cut out for an automatic in the first place. You tend to twist your elbow to absorb the recoil. That's more of a revolver technique.
You filthy American dog!
But that was some fancy shooting. You're pretty good.
Pretty good.
Major, do you read me?
I read you. Snake, you all right?
I've run into a few snags. These guys were after Sokolov too. Apparently they were taking orders from a GRU colonel named Volgan.
A GRU colonel?
Part of an internal Soviet power struggle, according to Sokolov. Something between the KGB and GRU. Between Khrushchev's supporters and Volgan's.
Sokolov was being guarded by the KGB and hunted by GRU? Snake, it sounds like this could be even hotter than Cuba.
I don't like it. Something about the whole thing stinks.
I agree. You'd better hurry.
Sokolov ran off by himself, but I'll catch up to him.
We're counting on you.
So, aber jetzt mal, jetzt darf ich auch wieder was sagen. Also ich glaube tatsächlich, das ist das Metal Gear mit den meisten Cutscenes. Das wird nur noch übertroffen von Metal Gear Solid 4. Und selbstverständlich haben wir jetzt den jungen Ocelot gesehen. In seiner Phase, bevor er Revolver benutzt hat. Bevor er so Revolver-affin geworden ist. 40 Stunden, Sekiro jetzt, ne? Ist trotzdem wenig, ne? Also für ein Souls-like, also gerade wenn es von FromSoft ist, also 30, 40 Stunden sind überschaubar, ne? Ja. Also man kann da durchaus mehr Zeit verbringen in diesen, also ich glaube Sekiro ist tatsächlich so ein Ausnahmefall, also in vielerlei Hinsicht. Aber ich gehe jetzt und rette Sokolov.
You want to save?
Und wahrscheinlich kommen wir nicht um eine Filmempfehlung herum.
Snake, have you heard of It Came from Outer Space?
Yeah, you told me already.
So this astronomer sees a meteor, but it's really an alien spaceship, right? And the aliens start replacing the townspeople with clones and forcing them to help repair the ship. The 3D effects were quite realistic.
I've got all the real I can handle here in the jungle.
No, you don't get it. Precisely because it's realistic, with the images jumping out of the screen at you, it makes for a nice escape from reality. I have to admit it made my eyes tired, but it was really intense. Unfortunately, they don't make very many of those movies anymore.
When did it come out?
I was still in college, so probably about 10 years ago.
Guess I'm out of luck then.
You know, they're coming out with household versions of video cassette recorders. One day you'll be able to see old movies anytime you want. It'll be like having a movie theater in your own home.
Really?
It's like if you had a record with movie film etched onto it instead of music. It'll work the same way.
You're kidding.
No, really. And someday they might make movies where you control the characters yourself.
Sounds like magic.
It'll happen. Make sure you stay alive to see it, Snake.
Da fällt mir eine lustige Geschichte ein, die kann ich einmal einstreuen. Was heißt Geschichte? Ist ja passiert. Christopher Nolan hat gesagt, wer Oppenheimer gucken will, der soll sich den auf Blu-ray kaufen und O-Ton, damit irgendwelche Streaming-Dienste dir den nicht wieder wegnehmen. Also Christopher Nolan ist offensichtlich Physical over Digital. Ich habe zum Beispiel jetzt zwei Filme, die ich noch gucken will. Und die sind im Moment auch noch da bei verschiedenen Streaming-Diensten, aber erfahrungsgemäß, also jetzt am Wochenende, ich werde versuchen, die am Wochenende zu gucken, wahrscheinlich sind sie dann nicht mehr in der Flatrate, weil ich zu oft draufgeklickt habe. Und dann denken die sich halt auch, okay, dann nehmen wir halt jetzt Geld dafür. Physical over Digital. So, lass mal Sokolov retten, wa? Was kann jetzt noch schief gehen? Jetzt retten wir Sokolov und dann ist die Mission beendet. Ab jetzt kann, glaube ich, nichts mehr schief gehen. Warte mal, ich wechsle einmal die Klamotten. Jetzt kann gar nichts mehr schief gehen. Wir haben es geschafft.
You okay?
Those men were from the Ocelot unit.
Spetsnaz?
Yes. The best crew has to offer. They're coming for me. I'm finished.
Calm down. I'll get you out of here, I promise. And we've got some of the best backup we could ask for.
Look.
That's what they were making you build?
Yes. The Shagohod. The treading behemoth. A tank capable of launching nuclear IRBMs.
It can launch nuclear missiles from that kind of terrain?
Oh, yes. And without support from friendly units.
A nuclear-equipped tank capable of operating solo. Is that thing finished?
No, this is only the end of Phase 1. It won't be truly finished until we complete Phase 2.
Phase 2?
The weapon's true form. If it is completed and the Colonel gets his hands on it, it will mean the end of the Cold War.
The end of the Cold War?
Yes. And then the Age of Fear will truly begin.
A world war?
I had no choice but to cooperate. I didn't want to die. I wanted to see my wife and child again in America. Please, take me to America, quickly. They cannot complete it without my help.
Got it. Let's go. Boss?
Good work, Jack.
What are you doing here?
Sokolov comes with me.
Hornets?
My friends, let us fight together again.
I have waited long for this day.
We will fight with you once more. Welcome back, boss.
Now that all 5 of us are together, it's time we go to the depths of hell itself. It's raining blood. Is he crying?
Kuwabara, Kuwabara. Ah, what a joyful scene.
Colonel Vogan.
Welcome to my country. And to my unit.
Boss, what is this?
I'm defecting to the Soviet Union. Sokolov is a little gift from my new hosts.
Recoilless nuclear warheads. These will make a fine gift for me.
This can't be happening.
Who is he? Another one of your disciples? Are we taking him with us?
No, this one is still just a child. Too pure for us Cobras. He has not yet found an emotion to carry into battle.
What are you talking about?
Think you can pull the trigger?
He's seen my face. We can't let him live. Khrushchev finds out about this, we're finished. He must die.
Wait. He's my apprentice. I'll take care of him. Jack, you can't come with us.
The new blood has been rejected.
Are we done here?
Now, on to Sokolov's research facility.
Shagohod is ours.
Drift away. My place is with them now.
Snake, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just barely.
Snake, listen to me. You need emergency medical treatment. Can you move? You've got to get those wounds treated. Hang in there. All right, let's get you fixed up. Paramedic?
Okay, Snake. Just relax and it'll all be over before you know it. Stay with me. I've seen people in worse shape before. Think you can handle it?
Major. The boss. She's defected.
We'll talk about that later. First, we've got to get you patched up.
Okay, here we go. First, open the survival viewer with the start button. If you select cure, you can start the treatment. Healing is divided into treatment using medicine with the item window button and surgical treatment using the weapon window button. Your injuries include a fractured left elbow and rib bone, and lacerations on your upper arms, right elbow, and abdomen. They need to be fixed using surgical treatment. Move the healing cursor with the left stick to the affected part of your body. Once you've selected the affected area, hold the weapon window button and use the left stick to select the medical item, and then press the enter button. With this method, you can use items to help your recovery process. To treat a bone fracture, first secure the affected area with a fastener and then wrap it in bandages. That should do it. For lacerations, you'll need disinfectant to clean the wound, sutures to stitch it up, styptic to slow the flow of blood, and bandages to wrap the wound. If you do everything I mentioned, the wound should heal completely. Understood?
Yeah.
Stay with me. Go into the survival viewer and treat those wounds.
Aber wie das halt nun mal so ist um die Uhrzeit, ich muss einmal kurz aufs Klo, das machen wir noch. Also den richtigen Vorspann, das war ja bloß die Ouvertüre. Dark Souls fängt jetzt erst richtig an. Ich gehe einmal schiffen. Ich bin sofort wieder da. Das machen wir noch. Und dann gucken wir uns den richtigen Vorspann an. Und dann geht die eigentliche Mission los. Wir wurden verraten von von unserer alten Mentorin. Ich gehe mal kurz. Ich bin sofort wieder da. So, pass auf, wir versorgen Schnarke einmal. Und dann gehen wir in den Vorspann und dann haben wir es für heute, glaube ich, erledigt. Ich kämpfe so ein bisschen mit Müdigkeit. Ist nicht schlimm. So, pass auf. Womit haben wir es zu tun? Also, wir haben hier oben eine Schnittwunde. Die desinfizieren wir. Und dann machen wir da das hier drauf und einen Verband. Immer noch nicht gut. Schlimme Schnittwunde. Nähen? Nähen. Die ist so schlimm, die muss genäht werden. Kein Verband. Ja, desinfizieren. Hinterlassen die bei Seven vs. Wild? Ich habe mir das nie angeguckt. Hinterlassen die eigentlich Plastikmüll auf den Inseln, wo sie gehaust haben? Oder wird das aufgeräumt? Ich habe mir das nie angeguckt. Schnittwunde. Okay, selbe Prozedur. Knochenbruch. Okay, das ist schon komplizierter. Das müssen wir schienen. Und dann Verband drum, ne? So, fertig. Ende. Knochenbruch gelöst. Noch ein Knochenbruch. Schienen, Verband drum, fertig. Kannst du im Prinzip zu Hause machen. Da kann jede Notaufnahme zumachen. Es sei denn, du rammst dir so ein seltsames Objekt in eine Körperöffnung, die nicht dafür vorgesehen ist. Das kannst du dann zu Hause nicht machen. Da empfiehlt es sich dann doch, in die Notaufnahme zu gehen. Schnittwunde, okay. Desinfizieren. Fertig.
Good job, Snake.
We're coming to get you now. Just stay where you are. We'll drop a recovery balloon. Can you set it up?
Excellent. A great success. Thanks to the boss and her cobras, I have both Sokolov and the Shagohod.
What are we going to do with the girl?
Who is she?
Apparently she's Sokolov's woman.
She's a nice catch. I'll take her. Not so fast, my dear. A kiss of death?
Are you KGB?
We may be able to use her. She has spunk.
Shall we take her back to the base?
Perhaps we should. We have no further use for Sokolov's research facility. I think it's time I gave this marvelous new toy a try.
Colonel, even if they are our enemies, they're still our countrymen.
But it won't be me that pulled the trigger. It'll be our friend, the American defector.
You're going to nuke your fellow Russians?
Remember the Alamo.
Colonel!
silence through the night. What a thrill. I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. Someday you go through the rain, and someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new light, I give my life, not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
Currently flying over the Arctic Ocean, altitude 30,000 feet, approaching Soviet airspace. Arriving at the designated drone launch point. Drone oil pressure and voltage are nominal. Payload oxygen supply is nominal. Power supply to payload antifreeze system shows no problems. No gusts. All systems go for drone detachment.
Snake, we can't risk a halo jump this time around. Airspace security has gotten tighter since we were last here. We can't get as close to the ground as we did during the Virtuous mission. So instead, we'll be using one of our newest weapons. Snake, you're being given an honor on par with Alan Shepard. This is our last chance. Show your patriotism. If you fail, you'll be back in a hospital bed again, waiting for the firing squad. So how does it feel to be a patient in one of the most advanced ICUs in the world?
Would you do me a favor and tell the suits about visiting hours? I'll never get better with them assaulting me day and night with their questions.
Must be part of the top brass's inquiry.
More like an interrogation. According to them, I'm a traitor and an accomplice to the boss's defection.
They're just looking for a scapegoat.
Does that mean they're after you too?
Let's just say neither one of us is going to be made a national hero out of this.
Does this mean Fox is going to die?
No. This fox is still one step ahead of the hounds. The reason I came to see you today, Jack, it's time for Fox to clear its name.
What are you talking about?
The situation has changed. We still got a chance to come out of this one alive.
Yeah, what kind of chance?
Don't get too excited. Here, have a cigar. It's Cuban. This morning, I had a meeting with the CIA.
They decided when they're going to execute us?
No. Something even bigger. Yesterday, the White House received an unexpected call.
President Johnson?
Yes, I hear you, Mr. Chairman.
It was a hotline call from Khrushchev to President Johnson.
From the head of the Soviet Union?
That's right.
A few days ago, one of our country's main design bureaus, OKB 754, was destroyed in a nuclear explosion. At about the same time, our anti-aircraft radar picked up a signature that appeared to come from one of your military aircraft. Does any of this sound familiar to you? In retaliation, I have placed our armed forces on secondary alert. Depending on your response, I may be left with no choice but to order the military to maximum alert and unleash Armageddon. With the help of your predecessor, I was able to survive the Cuban incident. But my power is not as great as it once was. If I am to survive this crisis, I must have your full cooperation.
I should have contacted you myself. Did you know that one of our soldiers defected to your country a week ago?
No.
So you haven't heard then. The man who arranged the defection was a GRU colonel by the name of Yevgeny Borosovich Volgin.
Volgin? Of the Brezhnev faction. Go on. Who is the soldier?
Her name is the Boss. She's a living legend. During World War II, she was the one who led us to victory in that war. In Russia, you know her as Voyevoda.
You mean the Boss? The mother of your special forces?
Yes, that's the one. And she took 2 miniature nuclear shells along with her.
The Boss took 2 miniature nuclear shells?
I'm afraid so. I believe they were a gift for her new hosts. The Davy Crockett Atomic Battle Group delivery system was completed 2 years ago. But serious problems were found with the launcher's range and precision. Although they were mass-produced, they've never been deployed in battle.
But Sokolov's research facility was completely wiped out. The whole area is polluted.
I can only offer you my deepest condolences over this terrible tragedy.
So, the Boss, with Colonel Volgin's help, stole 2 experimental nuclear shells and took them with her as gift when she defected. Then, shortly thereafter, Sokolov's design lab, a top-secret military research facility, was destroyed by one of these weapons. Am I right so far?
Yes, that's correct.
And the American government denies any involvement in the affair. Is that right as well?
That's correct. We were not involved in any way.
Then what was a U.S. military aircraft doing on our radar screen? It was clearly in violation of our airspace. And yet you say it was not acting under your orders.
That's correct.
You expect me to believe that this was all the work of a single soldier?
I don't know what else to tell you.
The Army insists that this is all a ploy on your part.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. Our government had nothing to do with it.
And I would like dearly to believe you. However, I'm afraid my power over the military has weakened since the Cuban incident. I will need some kind of proof that this was not the action of the American government. You have 1 week. You must catch the Boss yourselves and recover the remaining nuclear device. Then, you must find some way to prove your innocence.
Prove our innocence?
Yes, preferably something painful. Prove to me that this is not merely another one of your tricks.
The Boss should be close to Colonel Volgin. How about a little co-action?
I would not expect too much if I were you. The political situation here is unstable. And Colonel Volgin is a member of the Brezhnev faction, which seeks to topple my government. 1 week. You have only 1 week. And if it is not too much to ask, do something about Volgin as well.
What is that supposed to mean?
Nothing means nothing. Call it a modest gentleman's agreement to ensure our continued relationship.
What if we can't prove our innocence?
Then I will be unable to restrain the military. I will be ousted, and they will seek their revenge.
A nuclear attack on the United States?
I leave the disposal of this situation entirely to your discretion, Mr. President.
Disposal?
If you fail, it will mean the beginning of a new world war.
To put it simply, in order to avoid a full-scale nuclear conflict, we have to prove that America was not involved in that explosion.
And eliminating the boss ourselves will prove America's innocence?
Right. The higher-ups have decided that you're the only one capable of pulling this off. You were her last apprentice. Screw this one up, and we'll both be 6 feet under. There's no choice.
Are the Russians going to be helping us?
The KGB has promised to lend us one of their communications satellites so that you and I can talk to each other.
That's it?
They've also put us in touch with a couple of insiders.
Insiders?
There was a defection in September 1960. Do you remember it?
You mean the 2 NSA codebreakers who went over to the Soviet Union?
Precisely. Since then, they've apparently been training with the KGB for exactly this kind of situation. Their code names are Adam and Eva. I've been told that Adam has infiltrated Volgin's ranks. We've also arranged for him to provide you with an escape route. You'll need to rendezvous with him when you get there.
Control. Unidentified aircraft detected. Altitude 30,000 feet. It's fast. Estimated airspeed exceeding Mach 3. Bearing south. I'm about to lose it.
This is Snake. Do you read me?
Loud and clear. Glad to see you landed safely.
I got blown pretty far off target.
Snake, let's go over your mission objectives one more time. Rescue Sokolov. Find out what's happened to the Shagohod, then destroy it. And finally, eliminate the boss.
Eliminate the boss?
This mission will be codenamed Operation Snake Eater.
Because I'll be taking on the boss in our Cobra unit, right?
Don't forget about Colonel Volgin.
I'm not a hired killer.
I know, but that was the Kremlin's demand.
Demand? You mean it wasn't just a request? What's it to us if the Khrushchev regime is threatened by the Colonel and his faction?
If supporting the current regime helps us avoid a nuclear exchange, then that's what we'll do.
And what are the CIA's demands?
Our priorities are the rescue of Sokolov and the destruction of the Shagohod.
Roger that, Major Tom.
Hold on, Snake.
What now?
I'm changing my codename. It turns out Tom wasn't the most auspicious choice.
What do you mean?
Well, the truth is, when I chose my codename, I picked the wrong one.
The wrong one?
Did you ever see the movie The Great Escape? It came out last year.
Oh, must have missed that one.
Anyway, it's based on a true story about prisoners who escaped from a POW camp in Nazi Germany. The prisoners dig 3 tunnels as part of their plan, but the Nazis find 2 of the tunnels before they're finished. The prisoners succeed in escaping by using the last remaining tunnel. The names of those 3 tunnels were Dick, Harry, and Tom.
I get it. You used the name of the tunnel they escaped in as your code name because you thought it would bring you good luck.
Yes, that's exactly right. At least, that was the plan.
But
I got the name wrong. The one they escaped in was Harry. Tom was one of the unlucky tunnels. It was discovered by the Nazis before it was finished. I watched the movie again just to make sure. In fact, I even ordered the actual film from the movie company.
yeah, it doesn't sound like the greatest name to use. So what should I call you?
You know, let's just use Zero, like we've been doing all along.
All right, then. Major Zero it is. We'll start over from square one.
From square zero. My frequency is 140.85. Oh, I almost forgot. Paramedic is with us again on this mission.
Is this her last chance, too?
If we fail, she'll have her medical license revoked. It's more or less the same kind of fate. Her frequency is the same as during the Virtuous mission, 145.73. She'll be recording your mission data as well, just like the last time. That frequency is also the same, 140.96. And there's one more person on your support team. His name is Mr. Sigint. He's an expert on the latest in weapons and equipment technology. You'll be going up against some of the world's most advanced weaponry when you infiltrate the research facility. If you have any questions, just ask him. His frequency is 148.41.
Mr. Sigint. Got it.
Adam, your KGB contact, is waiting for you at the abandoned factory up ahead.
The same factory Sokolov was being held in last week.
Yes, meet up with Adam first. He's cleared the way for you to rescue Sokolov.
How'll I know this Adam guy when I see him?
You'll know once you reach the factory. The whole area's been polluted by the fallout from that nuclear blast. No one else would dare come close. The password is, who are the Patriots? And Lali Lule Lo.
Lali Lule Lo. Gotcha.
You've been equipped with a 45 for this mission. Be careful, it's noisy.
I thought standard Fox procedure was procure on-site weapons acquisition.
The circumstances are different this time. You're now on an official mission for the United States government. It would be necessary to make your presence known to a certain extent, to the Khrushchev regime at the very least. But remember, this is still a sneaking mission. Snake, if you fail this mission, it will mean an all-out nuclear war. Keep that in mind and proceed with extreme caution.
Understood. Commencing Operation Snake Eater.
Selbstverständlich machen wir noch ein bisschen weiter. Einfach um den Ton zu setzen. Also ich wollte eigentlich nach dem Abspann, nach dem Vorspann schon aufhören, aber nein, wir müssen den Ton einmal richtig setzen hier, damit alles weitere auch wirklich eindeutig und unmissverständlich ist. Und in diesem Sinne, lale lilolo. Ich komme hier nur sehr wenig zu Wort, oder? Die Pilze schmecken scheiße, die sammle ich nicht noch mal ein.
Looks like death wasn't ready for you yet.
Boss.
That arm still hurt?
What are you doing here?
Go home. Go home. Gru and my sons are waiting up ahead. You don't have a prayer of finishing your mission. You're not even armed.
Boss!
I'm not your boss anymore. There's nothing for you here. Go home. Go back to your boss. There's no need to prove that you are virtuous here. This isn't America. That should stir things up a bit. You'd better hurry. The border is 60 miles south of here. You ought to be able to run that far.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose. What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later, you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me. But you can't defeat me either. You know me too well. Just look at that bandana. If you can't put the past behind you, you won't survive long. If we meet again, I'll kill you. Now, go home.
This is Snake. Major Zero.
I read you, Snake.
I was ambushed by the boss.
You were what?
The drone's been shot to hell. It's up in flames.
That's not good. Enemy scouts are going to come looking for you.
Yeah, I know. But what was the boss doing here in the first place? There's got to be a leak somewhere.
No, that's impossible. The man the boss is working with, Volgin, isn't exactly on speaking terms with Khrushchev.
I lost my gun. The boss destroyed it.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. That she'd double-cross us like this. But that's how it is, and if you don't accept it, you'll never be able to beat her.
That's not the problem. In terms of sheer technique, I'll never be able to beat her. I know that all too well.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
Enemy? We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy?
Enough. Hurry to the factory where Adam is waiting. Scouts have probably already been sent out to investigate the explosion. You've lost your weapon, right? That means you've got no chance of winning in a battle situation. Whatever you do, don't let them see you.
paramedic.
Snake, it's so good to hear from you again.
Same here. It's been a week, hasn't it?
4 days, actually.
Huh?
I visited you in the hospital. You were still unconscious, though.
Then you must have seen me naked.
Yeah, but you were all wrapped up in bandages and tubes, so I couldn't do anything but look.
Better luck next time.
Let's hope so. But seriously, don't forget that you were like that until just yesterday. In fact, you really shouldn't even be on this mission. Keep an eye on your stamina gauge. If you start to run low, don't push yourself. Eat something to replenish your stamina. And try not to get yourself hurt. If you're wounded or get bitten by a venomous animal, go into the survival viewer immediately and treat yourself using Cure.
Yeah. I can see you still know how to nag.
You're welcome. And I can see you still don't know when to keep your mouth shut.
Maybe so. By the way, I heard you're going to lose your medical license if this mission fails.
Yes, there was talk of that, but the mission won't fail, will it?
Of course not.
Good. I believe in you. But you know what? I really don't care about my medical license.
Didn't they use that to force you to participate in this operation?
No, I volunteered.
Why?
So that I could watch over you.
Huh.
Snake, you're the best agent I've ever seen. But you push yourself too hard. You're reckless. Someone has to stop you from getting into trouble, to make sure you and the boss don't kill each other. So that's why I volunteered. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guardian angel than me, right?
Thanks.
Stop right there.
Huh?
You can thank me when you get back.
All right.
Okay, good luck, Snake.
Thanks.
Ja, würde ich sagen, an der Stelle können wir es, let's wrap it up. Jetzt sind wir in der wirklichen, der eigentlichen, der tatsächlichen Mission. Oh, da kommen sie schon angerannt. Aber ich höre jetzt auf.
What's this?
Da geht.
HQ.
This is HQ.
Patrol here. We have evidence of an enemy intruder. Commence alert formation.
Acknowledged. Sending reinforcements. Use extra caution.
Das geht nächste Woche weiter. Dafür habe ich ja jetzt abgespeichert. Gute Nacht, schönes Wochenende. Ich bedanke mich bei allen, die zugeschaut haben. Ich löte mich mal hinfort. Bis Dienstag, falls jemand Zeit und Lust hat.